Hello guys, this is Spino Productions 728 here, and today, as a celebration for 40 subscribers, which you guys are awesome for by the way, I will be showing off my entire Jurassic World Mattel dinosaur collection. As of July 14th, 2024, the collection is currently this massive, and it's only going to get more bigger from here, since, well, the minis are still in production. Anyways, without further ado, let us begin. Also, guys, I want to clarify something. I will not be including duplicates in this collection video, simply because, well, that's not really how it works. I'm just going to be showing every single mini and its variant that Mattel has made over the years. Well, mainly the new minis. Some of them are old, but most of them are new. And like I said, as of right now, currently there's not been a new version of them since. Alright guys, finally let's get into it. So first we're going to be starting off with from the smallest to the biggest. Starters, here is my brown regular Gallimimus. Now I apologize if some of these minis can't really stand that well. It's because with the new bendable material that Mattel has made them out of, it's kind of hard to stand them. But as you can see, this is the brown Gallimimus with the brown stripes. You guys have probably seen this in some of the videos already, but you guys have not seen these two variants yet. Well, at least not one of them. I'm just gonna let that I'm just gonna let them sleep. Anyways, so the second version is this is the yellow version. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this in one of the Jurassic Adventure episodes. And as for these two, I got that one in wave 1 of the Dominion line. This one, however, I got from an advent calendar. The next one came from the advent calendar as well, and this is by far my favorite Gallimimus repaint they've made so far. It is a green one, and I'm pretty sure you know this little guy. He is the same Gallimimus that kicked Molly right in the face in one of the Jurassic Adventure episodes when she was trying to hunt his pack mates. Yeah, as you can see, he's very beautiful, green with light blue stripes. This is why he's my favorite. Sorry guys. Sorry you too. Now, next up is the animal we've all seen already. It is the Lystrosaurus. Now, currently I only have one kind of this mini, and it's this green one, with this green pattern on his back. And yes, I know this creature is not a dinosaur, but regardlessly, it's a cool creature to have in a series like this. Well, not this series. I'm talking Jurassic Adventure. Next up, we have actually a more cooler one. We've got the Dimetrodon. Once again, not a dinosaur, but it's still a pretty cool creature, not to mention a famous one. You can see the sail is pretty detailed, and of course the brown coloration. And if the camera can pick it up, you can see on almost all these minis, there's like really cool detail that looks like real scales. Oh yeah, and actually where I got them, this one I got in the Dino Tracker line, I think. And this one I got somewhere in the Dominion line. Next up is the Herrerasaurus. You may have seen this you may have seen the Herrerasaurus in episode 13 when they ripped off poor Sledgehammer's arm, and of course almost mauled him to death. As you can see, they have orange patterns, though sadly the downside is they have no eye paint. So that's a bit of a bummer. I do like their coloration though. It's like this medium yellow color. Now, next up is the Dilophosaurus. This is a really cool one because the frill is so flexible you can actually bend it back, though I don't recommend that because it might strain on the plastic and it might actually tear it off, so I do not recommend that. As you can see, the colors are pretty basic, but it's still really cool. It's got the brownish red frill and crests, and of course, it's got this green coloration. And personally, this mini is really cool. Next up is actually a dinosaur I've not put in the series yet for reasons, and of course I bet you guys really like this one, considering the Jurassic fan base goes nuts over this dinosaur. We have the Pterosaur. As you can see, its coloration is actually really cool. It's got these yellow eyes and this red feathers, though sadly it is missing the blue, because in the movie, the Pterosaur had blue feathers with red. But sadly, not as many, it's just black and red. Oh well, it's still really cool. As you can see, if you look really closely at the eye, as soon as the camera stops being blurry, alright, I don't think the camera can pick it up, but regardless of the eye has printing on it, which has a little pupil, which personally, when I saw it, I was like, wow, that takes real dedication. Anyways, next up is another creature you guys have not seen in the series yet. It is the Dimorphodon. This is by far the smallest pterosaur I have, and personally, I love this little guy. As you can see, the Dimorphodon, it has these wings, and of course a little tiny head, and even this little cool little tail. This little guy, I got him from a pack. Sadly, he's not in the blind box series yet, so that means you're not going to be able to find this guy on stores, shelves, wherever you live, depending. I just got this little guy from the Chaotic Cargo pack, I think that's what it's called. Regardlessly, he's a really cute mini. Next up are some creatures you guys will probably recognize. If not, you guys will recognize them as the characters they play in Jurassic Adventure. We have, next up, the Morus Intrepidus. You can see this is clearly the same creature that Molly is in Jurassic Adventure. They have this red coating of feathers, and a nice yellow eye, and a nice light gray jaw. Personally, this mini is kind of one of the more cooler ones that Mattel has made. And of course, I love the little crown of feathers they gave the little guys. As for this, I got it in Wave 3 of the Dominion line. So, yeah, quite also a little bit of a rare mini too, because that's the only wave they've even put them in since. As you can see already, it's getting too crowded. Anyways, now let's move on to another one. Next up, we have the Stygimoloch. You guys may recognize this creature since it is the creature that plays as Sledgehammer in Jurassic Adventure. As you can see, I really like the printing. It's got this like brown patterns on it, along with a white dome, white spikes, and thankfully it does have eye printing. It's just kind of hard to see thanks to the camera not being too good. But yeah, regardlessly, the Stygimoloch is also a pretty cool creature. Even though, as of right now, scientists and paleontologists have discovered Stygimolochs are actually Pachycephalosauruses, just juveniles. Honestly, I don't care. Stygimoloch on its own are pretty cool. Next up, we have a creature that I just now put in the series. It is the Pterosaur. Specifically, this is the ghost variant. You can see she's got pretty good patterns. She's got brown stripes and red eyes, which I think is pretty cool. It's kind of hard to see. You can see a little bit. And of course, I really think it was interesting that they made her white, made her like an albino white. Same with her siblings, such as, well, except for one, which is red. Which, if you can see, this is more orange than red, so I don't know what they were thinking there. But it's whatever. It's still a pretty cool raptor. The paint is pretty basic, but like I said, it's still pretty cool. Next up, we have a pretty rare one in my collection. We have Tiger. Now, this is not just one of my favorites, but it's also sadly the only one I have in my entire collection. You see, the reason why I buy duplicates in the first place, it's because just in case if I lose one of these minis, I can easily replace it. But this little guy, sadly, I was kind of dumb, and I did not buy no duplicates of him. So sadly, he's currently the only one of his kind. Now, of course, the last one. The one that actually took me a while to get, which is Panthera, or Panthera, however you guys say it. You can see this one's actually kind of cool as well. She's got like tan with this brown stripes, and of course a bit of patterns on her face. And she also kind of looks like Ghost. So yeah, that is the Pterosaur squad. Next up is, of course, the ones we all know and love and will never be replaced. It is the Velociraptor. You can see this one I actually got from an advent calendar. All of these ones, these specially colored ones, except for the blue one, well, blue. That one, the blue one I got in the blind boxes. This one, however, I got in a advent calendar, same with most of the others. But yeah, this is by far one of my favorites. It's got this turquoise sky blue color with blackish stripes. Next up, we have a darker brown one. You may recognize this one being Delta in my series. You can see if you look closely, she does have patterns. She's got these little black stripes. And yes, I know this is not what Delta looks like, but since it's the only other Velociraptor color I had to use this one as her, even though she's technically more green in the original film. This is probably one of the most likely original Velociraptors from the original 1993 Jurassic Park. Same with this next one, which is what I got in the 30th anniversary advent calendar. This is the lighter brown one with the more tiger-like stripes. This one is, of course, you recognize this one as Apex, the villain Velociraptor in my series. And as you can see, this one's quite cool, honestly, and might be one of my favorites. Next up, we actually have two orange ones, which you may recognize as the Lost World Raptors, if you've seen the film. Next, we have this one. It is orange with a cream underbelly and some basic stripes. This, of course, you may recognize this one as Echo in my series. Next up, we have one of my favorites, and of course the most detailed out of the five. It is Stripe, or aka the other Lost World variant. This one I actually got from one of the play sets. So yeah, this one's also kind of a rare Raptor as well. As you can see, he's not just got eye printing, unlike the others back there, but he's also got some cool stripes, including his head. Also it kind of looks like hair. And he's got a bit of a tannish underbelly. Regardlessly, this is also a pretty cool raptor. Next up, we all know her, and we all love her, ever since the day she made her debut in the Jurassic franchise back in 2015. It is Blue. Personally, the colors themselves, I really like the little blue stripe they gave her, especially this side where it's covering her face a little bit, almost giving her a blue-like mask. And on this side, you could see the difference immediately, where you can see it's not covering her eye, unlike the other side. Like I said, I got her from the blind boxes. All of those other ones I got from the advent calendar. And of course, this guy I got from a playset. So yeah, sadly, all those other five, they're pretty kind of almost rare to come across. Next up is the Pterosaurs. First, we have the most famous of all the pterosaurs. We have the Pteranodon. You may recognize this one from episode 8, where it was one of the many pterosaurs that appeared in that episode, just swarming the characters. As you can see, this particular one has a yellow face, or at least a yellow upper face, and of course the basic printing for the wings. Sure, not much coloring going on, but it's still pretty cool. And I actually have this variant. It is a more chocolate brown one with a bit of medium nougat for the pattern. Very basic and sadly no eye printing. And actually, if you look really closely, it's actually smaller. So that's pretty interesting. This could be like a female regardless, I have good intentions for this little guy. And by the way, that one I got in the blind boxes. This one I got in a advent calendar. I think it came with the Raptors as well. Next up, we actually have a weird one, which you guys may not know, nor you guys have never seen in the series before. Next up, we have the Tubindactylus. This is quite a weird pterosaur. When I first picked this up for the first time seeing it, I was like, what the heck even is this? But now I realize this is just a really cool looking pterosaur. You can see he's got this beautiful crest with orange eyes that match his pattern. Yeah, I know, kind of lazy for the eye printing, but honestly, it's a really neat pterosaur, including the little spike he's got underneath his lower jaw. And because of the new material, I didn't mention this, all the pterosaurs, because of the new material, can actually make the wings flap. Also the head move. Well, it actually goes for all of them, but still, that's pretty sweet. Next up, we actually have one of my favorite pterosaurs. We have the Geosternbergia. You can see he's got a beautiful crest, along with some beautiful blueprinting, and that's pretty much it. But still, he's a pretty cool pterosaur. When I first got this little guy, I was like, wow, this thing is really cool. Next up, we have the biggest, and of course, another one you guys have seen in the series before. It is the Quetzalcoatlus. This is by far the biggest pterosaur that Mattel has made, ironically. As you can see, it's so flexible, its neck can actually bend around. I really love the printing, what they did here, such as the orange for the beak, around the face, and even gave it eye printing, unlike its other predecessors, except for the Tubindactylus, and of course, a little blue crest. And because of its size, it actually has joints that you can actually move the wings. You see, older Pteranodon minis, they used to have this articulation, but because of the newer models, they're too small for that. Which, comment below what you guys like more. Do you like the articulation, or do you prefer detail? Me, I personally prefer detail, even if that means getting rid of features like that. Sorry, guys. Anyways, let's finally move on to the main bulk of the collection. The main medium to large size creatures. First things first, we have one of the first few ever creatures that appeared in Jurassic Adventure. It is the Triceratops, the three-horned faced lizard. And you can see, if you've seen the episode, you instantly recognize this is the same kind of Triceratops that Hunter killed. It's the same green one with the brown stripes, and of course, it's just the same one. And of course, you guys recognize this version too. It is the brown version. You may recognize this one as Kate, the female Triceratops, the female mother Triceratops. So maybe the green could be a bull and the browns could be a female. Next up, we have another creature that appeared in the series. We have the Allosaurus. You can see he is very beautiful, actually one of my favorites. I really love that Mattel finally made a blue dinosaur. As you can see, he has an articulated jaw, which is very sweet. And the printing, all in all, looks very good, including the detail, including the spikes and the little, of course, humps they have above their eyes, which gives them the characteristic different-faced lizard. Though sadly, it does seem to have a standing problem. Sure, it's not doing it right now, but it is very tip-heavy sometimes, with the head being too heavy for the body. So sometimes it will, like, do this. So yeah, sadly, not all these minis are perfect, but oh well. It's still really beautiful. Next up, we have another creature, except it is more elusive, unlike the others. This creature, you may recognize in episode 6, when it actually killed, well, kinda, almost killed off the entire herd of Stygimolochs that Sledgehammer was hanging out with. This is Cryptops. This is actually not what Mattel made in their Big Fig line yet, at least as of me recording this video. You can see this is quite an interesting creature. He's got spikes, including osteoderms, and the fact he's got a weird skull. And as you can see, he's got yellow eyes, including olive green printing, and really weird looking hands. And of course, he's got little spikes. Now, I'm not sure what kind of species this is supposed to be, because like I said in the video, I'm not sure if this is an allosaur or a tyrannosaur. All I know is that this creature is very awesome looking. And of course, it's also, well, the same creature that basically caused Sledgehammer's entire family to die. Anyways, guys, because my collection is so big and because the video is already 20 minutes long, I'm going to have to cut this off here. So I'm going to have to make part 2. Yeah, the collection is huge. Anyways, without further ado, I'll see you guys in part 2. Goodbye.